Hello guys, and welcome back to my video. So my name is Ishe.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
In developing mobile applications. So today I'm going to talk about one of the most tricky topics, right? How do you charge for gigs as a software developer, right? So you need to understand that the first thing that you need to do is when a client approaches you, right, to know is you need to understand the client's problem first, right? Before you put a price tag on the whole project, right? So you need to make sure that you set up a meeting with the client, understand their objectives, right? Understand their business goals, right? Understand what type of problem they're trying to solve, right? Once you understand what they're trying, the problem that they're trying to solve, right? Now you can then write code to solve that problem. Remember, software development is not only about writing code, it's about solving problems. So once you understand the problem, now you can then put a price tag on the problem, right? And then the second thing that you need to understand is protect yourself as a developer. I don't know how I can stress this, guys. Always make sure you protect yourself. So 2 years ago, I was scammed by these guys from Georgia. They wanted me to fix a bug on their application, which I did. I spent like a month fixing bugs and making changes to the application. And then they promised me that they could pay me by the end of the month, only for them to disappear, right? And then also last year, I did a chatbot for this other guy. And then it was more of like he was going to pay me after doing the chatbot, right? Only for him to disappear, right? So I then came up with systems that can protect myself as a developer, right? So first things first, make sure that before you do any development, before you write code, right, for the client, before you do any project for the client, make sure that they pay you a commitment fee. For example, let's say a client approaches you with a problem, right? They want you to develop, let's say, a food delivery application for their restaurant. So in that case, maybe they need an admin dashboard, a mobile application, and also a backend, right? So let's say the entire project, you have come up with a price tag for the entire project. Let's say the entire project is going to cost, let's say, $2,500, right? So make sure that before you do any development, they should pay you like 10% commitment fee, right? So that 10%, that would be like $250, right? If they refuse to pay you like a commitment fee, guys, just that project, it's not worth it. Just tell them to go somewhere else.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Pay you like the commitment fee before you begin, right? And then the other thing is like break the client's problem into smaller problems, right? So for example, if the client comes for you, they want you to do like a food delivery application, they need an admin dashboard, they need a food delivery application, and then they also need like a backend system, right? So for the mobile application, you can break down the mobile application into smaller components, like smaller problems. Same for the admin dashboard, and also same for the backend, right? And then after you break down the project into smaller problems, you can then charge the client. You can then come up with what you call deliverables, right? Let's say most software development projects usually take around 3 months for you to complete. So you say like, you agree with the client, like after like a month, I'm going to work on the backend and also some parts of the mobile application. And then let's say you pay me, let's say 1/3 of the total amount, right? And then once you complete those deliverables, once you deliver those deliverables, the client will pay you like 1/3. And then the second month, let's say you finish up the mobile application, and then you start some features on the admin dashboard, right? And then they pay you another 1/3 of the total amount. And then let's say the last month you then finish up the entire project, and then they pay you like 1/3, right? So it's more of like they're paying you installments. You deliver some deliverables, and then they pay you like installments. That's how I do it. So that's how it works for me. As for you, you can come up with your own. You can also come up with your own system and how you agree with your clients, right, on the payment method. And then the last one is make sure that you use Trello or any project management, right, to keep your your customers updated on the progress, right? So what I found is like this sort of like creates trust between you and the client, right? Once you are working on the project that you have broken down into smaller components or smaller problems, each progress that you make sure that the client is updated on the progress, right? You can use Trello, you can use Notion, or you can use even Jira. Some people, they use Jira, right? You can use Jira to make sure that what the client is updated, right? So yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's how I came up with my system on charging clients when it comes to gigs, right? So if you have your own system, or if you think you can improve how I do it, just put your comment in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.